Roll up, everybody. We're live. I'm not expecting too much of a crowd because this wasn't really fully advertised. But if you are here, then come join. Roll up, gather. Woma went to mill. This might well just be one of those when I just put it out there and you guys can get to rewatch it because it wasn't fully advertised. Woma went to mill. Did I catch you unawares? Woma went to mill. Roll up, come join. Where are you people? One man went to mill. Come join. Here is the hyperlink if you want to come join in. No, that's not the hyperlink. But the hyperlink is there anyway. Come, one man went to mill. Roll up, roll up. I might well just do this video and leave it there and people can watch it at their leisure. One man went to mill. I do like an audience when I do these sessions, but where are you people? One man went to mill. I advertised this for yesterday, but I wasn't able to do it. But here it is anyway. One man went to mill. Okay, so we're back within the Nigerian space again, of course. That is our regular stomping ground. And we're speaking to Oduduwa nationhood. So that is a recurring decimal in the news, especially these days. And we're going to Ondo State and to revisit a story that broke a few months ago when the governor of that state, Akeredolu, was said to have instructed all public schools to recite the Oduduwa Nation anthem. So Akeredolu seems to have doubled down on that particular instruction, that particular policy. As guys, I bring you this. Ondo State mandates singing of Oduduwa anthem at public schools and functions. So that is the Governor Akeredolu for you. It looks as though that Akeredolu might well be declaring for Oduduwa Nation in all ways other than uttering those words himself. So that is a declaration then for Oduduwa Nation now, because of course he's always at the forefront of championing the Yoruba cause in all ways other than coming out and stating categorically that he wants Yoruba Nation. But state categorically that he does want Yoruba Nation, as again, Ondo State mandates singing of Oduduwa anthem at public schools functions. So now let's now find out exactly what the latest development is in Ondo State. The Ondo State government has mandated the recitation of the Oduduwa Nation anthem in all functions in public schools across the state. This was disclosed in a circular dated May the 6th and addressed to educators in the state and addressed to educators in the state public service. The circular, signed by the Permanent Secretary, Ondo State Teaching Service Commission, Tolu Adeyemi, was directed to tutors generals, all TESCOM zonal directors, and all principals of public schools in the state. So this is the reading of that statement. It reads, the present administration of Arakunrin. So Arakunrin, you have to understand, means Mr. and also Ogbeni means, I think Arakunrin actually means gentleman, a gentleman rather, and Ogbeni means Mr. So you would hear people referring to what is that name? The one that is the Minister of Interior at the moment, Aregbesola. So you hear people referring to him as Ogbeni Aregbesola. Ogbeni is not his name. Ogbeni means Mr. or at least gentleman, and Arakunrin means Mr. So I will say Arakunrin means Mr. and Ogbeni means gentleman. So if you're a deep core Yorubaist, then you can expand on that for me. But Arakuni, by my understanding, means Mr. and Ogbeni means gentleman. So so again, it reads, the present administration of Arakuni Oluwa Rotimi Akeredolu SAN has adopted Oduduwa Nation as part of the civic responsibility of all residents in the state. So if it's instructing all the state, all the schools in the state to recite this as their national anthem, then you can be sure as their national anthem, or at least as an anthem of the state, then you can be sure that that also cascades to all public functions of the state. So, let me just take it from the top of that again. It reads, the present administration of Arakuni Oluwarotimi Akeredolu SAN has adopted Oduduwa Anthem as part of the civic responsibilities of all residents in the state. To this end, the singing of Oduduwa Anthem has become mandatory at all functions in all public schools in the state. Therefore, all school principals and other functionaries in the public schools are enjoined to adopt, teach, and encourage the singing of Oduduwa Anthem at all functions, especially at the morning assembly in all schools. The copy of the song is hereby attached. So that is the thing, really. So I might well even introduce that, but I just don't want to be too sectional. But I could easily have introduced that Oduduwa Anthem as the opening intro to these sessions that we do as a Yoruba man. But then, of course, I don't want to restrict myself to just that Yoruba-ness. So the copy of the song is hereby attached. Kindly internalize and externalize the contents of this circular. My kind regards always, and then he signs off by whoever the person is that is in charge of putting this out in the public space. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The recitation of the Oduduwa Anthem now made mandatory within Ondo State. So that is the development that is going on within that space. So that was a story that I was intending to bring you yesterday, but for reasons of our prior, sorry, bear with me. But for reasons of a prior appointment that was brought forward, I was unable to do that. So I fulfilled that requirement. So several stories to bring you, but I'll just bring you a bonus one, just really to because that story that I just brought you now, that story that I just brought you now was intended for yesterday. So I just bring you a bonus one. Okay, so there's just countless things that I can bring you. Well, I could bring you the narrative of how the Ogun State Governor Akeredolu is land grabbing and people are suing him for fraud, or how Falana is suing what is that thing called? Should I say, of Abacha, his personal security guy, the guy that was in charge, Mustafa. So apparently Falana is suing Mustafa for twisting history with regards to what pertains with regard rather to what played out in the Abiola scenario. So let me just bring you that one actually, just really to pad out the session, and then we'll just leave it there if no one is coming to chime in, because of course, as I said, this is we've got a trusted hello. Yeah, so unmute yourself.
Good afternoon over there, or good I don't know.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Just really first to something that you can quickly clear up for us, Isaac, is Ogbeni, is that gentleman, and Arakuni Mr. Because that is what I said, but how would you have it? I'm saying Ogbeni is gentleman because Aregbesola, of course, calls himself Ogbeni. So I was explaining to the non-Yoruba speakers that Ogbeni is not part of his name. It means gentleman.
Yeah.
And Akeredolu is now referring to himself as Arakuni, yes, which I'm saying is Mr. So do you think Akeredolu and do you think Akeredolu is turning to Yoruba Nation now? Because all these moves now, they are Yoruba Nation moves, but with other than just declaring Ondo State as a country.
Well, the issue is that I think we are getting closer to what we really need, because if you look at the reply from the northern part of Nigeria today, you could see that
have they come out?
Yeah, some of them came out and criticized southern governor of trying to that what they did is just that they are trying to secede from Nigeria.
Well, trying
that it doesn't make any sense for them not to consult northern part of Nigeria before they make that decision. However, you know, I mentioned yesterday that they did specify that, is it 2 weeks they are giving herdsmen to pack up their belongings from the bush or from the road. You know, I mentioned that yesterday. That also came out of their concern that they did not even give time frame. So because you cannot just make a decision that, okay, well, herdsmen just have to leave a road and stuff like that without giving them 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, so that they can prepare themselves. That is part of what came out from I think Vanguard newspaper that I read this morning. So I think we are getting closer, because based on what I'm seeing, northern parts, they are not interested in all that issue of restructuring and stuff like that, because they do also mention it in that
they are not interested.
That they are not interested. So yeah, what do we expect?
But really, it's not their interest that nobody is interested in what they're interested in. We're saying we cannot carry on the way this thing is. You are telling us we are not interested. We're saying we don't want it. Let me give you an example, Isaac. I come and I give you ice cream, and you say that you don't want ice cream, and I'm trying to force you to. You don't want ice cream is you don't want ice cream. We don't want it is we don't. You are telling us you are not. What I mean. But this is what we're talking about, you know, this arrogance of ignorance that is going on within that region, because we played one out just yesterday, didn't we? And then, we were expecting this, were we not? But I think it was a mistake, by the way, for those people. They were too quick to put out their communique, so they quickly need to add that addendum that, okay, within this time frame, you know, but that open grazing will be the real test of everything now that is going on, because everybody has now said no. So if those Fulanis continue to open graze within the next another 3-4 weeks, then every state governor in the south will just pack his bags and go back to his village, because certainly he's not in charge of anything.
The issue is that if, as I mentioned yesterday, if they really follow with this thing, I am telling you, you know, Mr. Clark that said maybe Nigeria will not even last for 6 months.
Robert Clark. You see, but we were joking. Maybe you were not laughing at him, but I was laughing at him. But look at it now.
I was not laughing at him, because I see that when you put that question to me, I said, well, according to Mr. Clark, it may even faster than 6 months. It could be 6 months. It could be more than 6 months. But if they really follow through with this thing, with what I'm seeing, the handwriting I'm seeing right now, Nigeria may not even end up to the end of this year, because the northern part now, they are saying they are not backing down. They don't want any restructuring. They don't want that they cannot, that the southern governor are so, the way they qualify, like they don't even know what they are doing. How could they go? But it's very funny when a state, the chief security of a state said to you, this is what they want. They didn't tell you that, okay, that herdsmen should leave their state. They said they don't want open grazing. It is simple. It is simple.
It's unacceptable one, and this is something that you know. A few years ago, about 3-4 years ago, I went to and I went to Abuja or thereabout, and then I was alarmed because Abuja is one of the major capitals of the world for reasons of the size of Nigeria and its economy, and I was alarmed that people were giving way to yes, and then I was going also from Lagos to Ondo to go and visit my in-laws, and as we're driving through, there was just malus coming out of the forest that just crossing the road. And then the guy that was driving me, one of my relatives, he was saying, "Look," and then he will be ready that because that was in the heartland. That was during that really tense period when they were just coming out of the forest and waiting against people. He's saying, "Look, if these people make any false move, I'm just going to weight the car against with them and with everybody, So I mean, we can't. We don't want open grazing. I mean, what is the difficulty in that in our own land?
The point is that unless we all come to consensus that this Nigeria thing is not going to work, the earlier we realize it, the better. Because everybody, we travel all over the world, we see how people operate things. At this time, how could you say that you still see malu, you see cow roaming the street, and this can cause accidents? It's not even that it has caused so many accidents. When you have malu on the streets, on the federal road, even there was a time there was a news from Channel TV. Then they were reporting that this is so crazy. Look at a cow in front of National Assembly.
But look at that. But
even in front of Aso Rock self. So they were just comparing that. No, this is crazy. At this time,
Isaac, what do you think that this thing that we're saying is? Because you cannot say in the heart of Abuja at the National Assembly that the cows there, they are looking for food to eat. Certainly not. And when you see them rolling the cows on the high road, you cannot say they are looking for food on the high roads to eat. So what do you think they are actually doing? Because by my own reckoning, I think this thing is really an act of intimidation. They are telling you that they own this land in effect, because if somebody can just casually come into your farmland, your homestead, and just casually graze their cattle on your land, then they are telling you that they have no regard for your ownership of that space. That is really the language that I'm hearing, and I don't really think it's anything to do with grazing.
That is just the truth. You are right with what you said. It is just the act of intimidating. Can you imagine somebody all the way from maybe from Zamfara or from Kaduna or from anywhere, or from Kano? Just take land from Ogun State or take land from Ondo State, that the land doesn't belong to them. They just enter into the bush there and they just make their own house and start living there. Is that how we Southerners just go to the north and just take one bush there and start and erect our building and start living our life? It is just act of intimidation and believing that there's nothing we can do about it, because this power this power has already gone to their head. The issue is that Buhari just make everything happen. It has been like this before, but Buhari just make everything just show it to everybody that okay, this is what we want.
In fact, in many ways, I am thankful to Buhari for this present climate that we're going under now, because we've always known that it was like this, but they've never really shown their full teeth. And everybody was just saying, "Oh, Omamala." We know they are a bit funny. They will quickly get out their knife and start stabbing people. But really now, Buhari has now told us exactly, what their intentions are. So nobody can now run away and pretend not to know what it's about anymore. But then, of course, what happens next is the question. Let me just go on.
Okay. The issue is that if anybody cannot still read the handwriting right now, if somebody cannot read the handwriting right now, then that person is not living in this world. Maybe it's living in another planet, because it is clearly, as a matter of fact, the head of if you read a lot of nonsense they wrote in
response.
In response to Southern governor, you'll be so, what is going on here? Some of them say those people don't even know what they are doing. They just making joke. They don't really mean it. It's so shameful. Is that how not a governor have to consult a southern part of Nigeria before they had any meeting that will benefit them? Absolutely not. Do you know how many meetings they already had this year? This year alone, do you know how many meetings?
You mean the northern governors?
Yes.
They are always meeting, and of course to agree their position. But I've never heard of a Yoruba man at that meeting, because it's always that little man from Kaduna State that will gather them and then tell them what they are thinking, and then they put it out in the papers. But of course, they have to supervise the Yorubas, because they are our Lord and Masters.
Our Lord, yeah. So that is it. The earlier we get, we call a spade a spade. The way governor just started now, it is better. It is better.
But you were never a fan of Akeredolu, but it looks as though you are now becoming his fan.
Actually, I am not a fan to any politician. I'm not sorry to say it. Because because I live in abroad, and I see how people behave and how politicians behave. As I said earlier in almost all our discussions, there is nowhere that there is no corruption. No single country that is free of corruption. I mentioned in our last discussion, I said some people, when I was talking to some guys here, they said, "Oh, our politicians are so corrupt." They are referring to Canadian politicians, and I just laughed. I said, "Do you want to compare a situation whereby you have 100 million and politicians take 99 million into their own pocket, and they only spend 1 million, and even with that 1 million they still cut out of it, they still find means of taking a part of it? But compare it to a situation whereby you have a politician that has 100 million and spend 99 million on the citizens, and it's even the 1 million that is remaining, they will still give like a charity, like they will give people who need, they will give them, so they might just invest 500,000 out of it." I said, they now tell me, "Oh, no, I think I would prefer this one." I said, that is why you have to prefer what you have, because you don't know what you are talking about. That is why I'm not a fan of any politician in Nigeria.
It's a real tragedy, Isaac, because you are using Canada as an example now, and everybody will say Oyinbo land. But Oyinbo is not from Mars. Oyinbo is a human being. They evolved out of Africans. They put in the work to build that thing. It did not happen by magic. And the perfect example is a place like Dubai. So with Dubai started after Nigeria, and they made the deliberate and conscious effort to create what they created. They have no technology. So if we're saying Oyinbo have technology, the Arabs don't have technology, Dubai doesn't have technology, but they had the investment and they had the money and made the deliberate effort to decide to invest within their country. Who doesn't want to live in Dubai now? You know, if you go back 50 years, Dubai, they were rolling, camel all over that place, you know. Exactly. It came up after Nigeria, and look at it now. And what is the distinction? Are they cleverer than us? No. The distinction is a commitment to their nationhood. It's just so sad.
And you know, the funniest part of it is that the same group of people now, the same politicians we're talking about now, they went to Dubai and take all our money, the money that belongs to us. They took it to Dubai. Do you know that with about and this is what all of them are doing, with about $500,000 to $1 million, You can buy a befitting house in Dubai, and that is what they are doing. Then they will give you unlimited visa, which will give you opportunity to come anytime, even with your family. In as much you have house in Dubai, and this is what all our top politicians are doing. This is all what they are doing. They take our money, they go to Dubai to get definite visa for their family. So if anything happens, they can run away.
You know that this I see you as Makinde, who you help, and Cyril, but I'll come to you, Makinde, first because you're a new voice. But before I come to you, yeah, go on, Isaac.
Can you let me finish with that issue of Akeredolu, because I need to, you asked that question. So the issue of Akeredolu is I'm not a fan of Akeredolu. Is my governor, because I'm from Ondo State. I have problem when these people don't have common sense. It is masses. It is we that build the economy, not rich people. Rich people don't buy things. They don't eat because they're comfortable. When you comfortable and you have money, you are not going to feel hungry. It is we that we don't have money, always buy groceries, we always go to market, and this is our economic boom. They know all these things. How could you tell me that somebody who's just working for just $100 per month, $100 per month, and you still divide the money, you are paying them 25%? How could that be justified? 25%, somebody who's getting 50,000 naira, and you are paying them 75%, 25% as sometimes. What are they going to do with that money? That money cannot even cook ordinary soup. The money you pay them for a month. So I cannot be fan to any of the governor or any of the politicians, in as much they are not doing the right thing. I want them to do right thing, because I live in a civilized country, and I know how I mentioned the other time, you can eat as many times as you want.
Isaac, two things about what you said. As an Ondo man, you Ondo people, you are notorious for being troublemakers. You don't like anybody, and you have too many opinions. But to that thing that you said about if you have asset worth a certain amount of money in Dubai, then you have free entry to that space. So to that thing, you know, I was saying I went to Abuja a few years ago. So what I noticed, I went to Transcon Hotel, maybe just to swim or just to relax or something. But when I got to that hotel, there was a cubicle that was there permanently with agents from, they were Nigerian people, but acting for a Dubai property company or whatever, selling Dubai houses in that Transcon Hotel in Abuja. So what that then told me was that this is the perfect money laundering vehicle for this politician. So they just loot the money and then they will buy that house. They don't even have to go out of Nigeria. So they loot the money, buy that house that this guy is selling in the hotel in Abuja, and then of course that guy would then he would do his exchange. But then now they have that asset now in international shores, which they can use to exchange for hard currency. So they'll just buy, even if the house is worth $100,000 and they sell it to them for 1 million, they don't care, because of course, I mean, you know.
Do you want to say something to what you just said? The documentary I watched, I was listening to one guy. They were interviewing him on Channel TV. You said you see what you are talking about. He did mention that. He said they use that house to siphon money. Even as a matter of fact, the agent over there, those people who want to sell your house, you don't even need to transfer them money. They know how to connect to Nigeria to get that money from Nigeria. So these are the ways they used to take our money out of Nigeria and take it to Dubai. I used to build Dubai. Meanwhile, millions of youth are jobless in Nigeria. These are the money that can, in fact, I'm too angry about
it's a sad situation. I want to take Makinde, but just to add on to what you're saying, you see, when these people, when they loot the money, one of the biggest difficulties that they have is then how to get that money out. Because I'm sure you've seen all these videos of all this money stacked up in bales, room in some big man's house. So they stack up all of this money, but then some of the money even starts to rot away in instances. So they stack up this money, but they don't know how to get it out of Nigeria. So that thing that Dubai and maybe other countries now are not doing is providing them that vehicle. Makinde, we see you. Introduce yourself and tell us where you're coming from. Tell us where you are and then where you are in the conversation. Makinde.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I'm Makinde Folorunso by name. I live in Nigeria. I stay in Abuja. Yeah.
Okay. So what are you making of the narrative?
Actually, this is my first time of being here, and I'm still trying to know what is happening in the house before I will make my comments.
Oh, okay. Just to bring you up to speed, I'll go to who you help next. But before I go to who you help, what we were talking about is Governor Akeredolu of Ondo State insisting that Oduduwa Anthem should now be the anthem for state recitations for all the public schools in Ondo State. So I was then saying that is this him now declaring for Oduduwa Nation? And then we pivoted into the Nigerian narrative of corruption and how these people were just looting hand over fist and carrying the money out of the country. So we were just tackling especially that single story because, of course, you know, Akeredolu, this is the second time now. He came out a few months ago to tell the Fulanis to get out of the forest in Ondo State, which by extension means get out of Ondo State. So now he's now telling the schools, especially in that state, that forget our rights to compatriot. What is the national anthem even now? Is it Nigeria we hail thee or our rights to compatriot? Whichever one they are because you know whatever foolishness that I think is our rights to compatriot, isn't it? So is saying forget all that nonsense that that is Oduduwa Nation. I have to get that anthem Oduduwa Nation because I don't know it fully. So he is saying that is the direction that he wants to follow now. So we're just talking about that. So have your thoughts on that. Hausa no Fulani, we see you. Are you following and what do you make of it? Hausa?
Actually, I think at this junction, this is they are coming late.
Sorry, who's speaking?
Because if we're talking about Fulani, where
is that Makinde?
Makinde.
I think it's Makinde, yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. At this junction that we have now, for Governor Akeredolu to be saying what he's saying now, I think they were coming late.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Hausa. Hold on.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah. Carry on, Makinde.
Okay, because the people who are talking about today, they already get their hold on power. So if anybody wants to mess up with them now, they have the power, they have everything to make sure they bring everybody down. Because who does? I mean Fulanis.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I have a heat argument with one of my sisters some years ago. You know, let's say January this year. Because I'm kind of people that believe in all this Yoruba of a thing, Oduduwa of a nation of a thing. But when she talked to me about it, she said these people, they've already planned themselves in the seat of armory. They have all the power, they have all the materials. They were in
by power military. You mean guns? You mean guns, really, don't you?
Everything, even the armory we are talking about, the Nigerian armory is under Fulanis as we are talking right now. So fighting them now is suicidal. I don't know how we are going to apply a kind of wisdom with them.
Yeah, but you see when you say fighting them, Makinde, I'm
not talking about fighting. Fighting is different ways.
That's what I wanted to.
You say you want to have your Oduduwa Nation or Biafra Nation. You have to study what you are trying to bring out, because these people cannot even hold ordinary local government election successfully without causing any crime. So these are the people you are now calling to come and divide it.
Because who are you referring to?
I mean people in the power, our leaders. They can't even have a local government election successfully now in Nigeria without killing people. If you are now asking me that those guys that can't even have a successful local government election, even ordinary councillor election within the community, you are not asking them that they will be the one that to come and tell you that Oduduwa Nation or Biafra or this. My boss, we are calling for war, and this war, these people are ready.
Makinde, make sure you subscribe and follow, because what you're talking about, we discussed it. Matthew was, Isaac was here. Yes, we went through this narrative because really we are at a. Do you agree, Makinde, that we are at a crossroad in the Nigerian space now?
Definitely, certainly, that one is
okay.
Sure.
Because everybody now has their position. The Southerners, they have their position now that we cannot and will not continue in this manner. And the Northerners have told us that we are going to maintain status quo. So a catch-22 situation, so a locking of the heads. So now you are telling us correctly that all the Northerners, they control all the guns in the Nigerian state, and they sit on top of the wealth of the country as well. And the weight of that will crush anybody. So you're absolutely right, because of course, the army, the security structures, essentially, they're just Fulani security structures. All the foot soldiers and all the leading commanders are all Hausa Fulani. So if they say we're against them, then they'll just wipe out people. So we're actually talking about a genocide if you take to arms. And so taking to arms is not really fully an option. But then, of course, the present situation that we have on the floor is not an option too. So what gives is really where we are having that conversation now. Because like you said, we can't face them gun for gun, and we don't really want to face them gun for gun, because that price is paid in human life. But then, of course, we cannot continue to be slaves. So which way out? Makinde, plot a way out for us. Are you a Yoruba nationalist, by the way, or are you
Actually,
for Yoruba nation?
I'm an African. I believe in Pan-Africanist.
Okay, yeah, we have a couple of you on this channel. Who is the other Pan-Africanist that we have? So what is the way out of this situation then?
I think our problem is not the problem of we are not just started now. It's a problem of even before the pre-colonial era. This problem has been occurred. We are actually a target of some civilians, civilian what's it called, for some countries. Africa is civilization country. We are actually a target of them, because they actually know what the power of what Africa is. They know how good we are, how powerful we are. So they try to infiltrate to our system to destroy what we have as an Africa. So if we are talking about Yoruba, Igbo, Hausas, the whole Africa is supposed to be a nation, a country. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that is not the direction of travel, though, is it? Because rather than coming together, it is splitting more and more. Eritrea split from Ethiopia, Sudan split into two. Everybody is splitting.
Can I come in? I need a question.
Let him land his point, Isaac. I want to know where his politics is. So where is your politics, Makinde?
Actually, from the onset, I believe in revolution. I think revolution will save us more than war.
So style?
Yeah, sure, definitely. Yeah, the reason why I believe in that is this. If all the oppressed in this country can come together, just set a date for themselves. Let's say the doctors are on the streets, lawyers on the streets, the artisans on the streets, the businessman on the street. Everybody can galvanize that action to shut down the system with the foot on the street, with their foot on the street. These people we call leaders. Most of them will run away.
You know what they call what you just said? Go on.
And no single bullet will be shot if you have the number.
You know what they call what you just described? You know what they call that in America? They call it the Million Man March. So you have a million men on the
yes,
you have a million men on the streets, and then of course, and even the soldier will just put down his gun and say, "Look, I can't do this." So so that's a million man march. But what I'm getting from what you are saying is that you don't see it so much as an ethnic or a tribal thing, but more a people versus the elite. Is essentially what you're saying is the elite that is the problem, not the tribe. So Isaac, you wanted to put a question to Makinde before I go to others to take their opinion as well. So Isaac, off you go.
Okay, now my question to him is that I think he stated that he wanted the whole Africa to be one. Is it because we are black people or because of what? That is my question. Why do you suggest that?
Actually, if you read our history very well, you will know how powerful Africa was. And then there's something like Nigerian. We don't have Nigerian. We don't have Biafra. We don't have Yoruba. We don't have anything. We only have different languages. But we live inside the Africa before these people came to Africa to balkanize what Africa is, and they changed that narrative. That's why you see somebody in Nigeria that will speak English. You go to some Seme here, that they are speaking French. When you go to Cotonou, they speak another languages. So that these people, they came to divide us more, so that we won't have that unity, that force that can give us what we want as a nation, not as a country. We are just suffering from the agenda of the whites. What they mean, they know Africa will lead the world if they allow us to practice what we believe. They know we will lead the world. We control the world. Go and check it. It's only in the space of Africa that Nigeria, Africa is not working for us. Let every one of us get out of this space today. You will see him as in the guy you used to say as an idiot before he traveled. Let him travel out of this space. In the next 2 years, it's like we turn around. Everything will change for him. What is causing all this is environment. It's the leaders. Those people outside there, they create an environment for themselves. But here, they introduce so many things that it's not even our own to us. And we are following all those things. We are not even looking for our own idea. How are we going to be self-independent, self-reliant without even expecting them to do anything for us?
Okay, Makinde, just to respond to what Makinde said, because so I can take who you help and Cyril as well, so everybody would have had a voice. Just to what you're saying, a lot of countries were created by Europeans, so really that argument does not hold. And also this thing that they speak French in one place and they speak something in the other, if you remove all of that, they will speak Yoruba in one place and speak Igbo in the other, so there's no commonality of language.
That is exactly what I want to say.
Yeah, so there's no commonality of language across Africa. But the point that I want to introduce to your narrative is that I agree that these people are keeping us down. The Westerners, they are keeping us down, especially within Black Africa. They are keeping us down. And the reason why they are keeping us down is because Black Africa is the most resource-rich area in the world. It is by far. The wealth in Africa is 2 times the wealth, or 3-4 times the wealth in the entirety of the rest of the world. Everything is in Africa. But then, you know, if they were to do a fair trade with Africa, so that bread that you were buying for £1 in the UK, for €1 in whatever, $1 in Canada, that bread you will be paying $5 for it, $6 for it. So the reasons why you're able to live in the style that manner that you're living in your America, etc., is because they are extracting resources from. If you look at Congo, for instance, that area, I think there's something. I think maybe the silicon in the mobile phone, 97% of it comes from that region. So if they were paying a fair price for that mobile phone that you're buying for $100 and you're saying it's too expensive, you'll be buying it for $1,000. Is because they are taking those things out of Africa for free. That is why they are able to sell those things to you at the cheaper rate. So if you were to pay it, so that is essentially where I see that argument. So I'm going to step off for a moment. So Isaac, you are a moderator, so you can take charge. But let Who You African have his narrative, and let Cyril have his narrative too. Just give me about 5 minutes. I'll be with you. So I take over to you, but who you help first?
Thank you, guys. Actually, there is one thing that I think we Africans we don't really want to share light on the truth. We pass blame many times when there is problem in our society. We blame this, blame that, blame this. Let's take it for example. Before the European colonial master came, who wrote history for us? Do we have history that we wrote for ourselves? I've never read any history backdate before the colonial came. The history, what we read, is what the colonial masters told us, what they wrote for us. So that is one point. And then the second point is this, is that before the colonial masters, Africa was not in peace. Let's be realistic with ourselves. Africa was not in peace. We were already enslaving ourselves before the colonial master came. We were already enslaving ourselves, fighting each other, war here, war there, taking people's property, and then we have been doing that before the colonial master came. And then let's ask ourselves one simple question today. How did 50 British came into a place and then they colonized 2 million people? How did it happen? Do we really think that British just came? No, it's because the African leaders, we already have elite before they came. We already have leaders. We already have government in place. Kings were already governing us. And this king, because we are so loyal to our king, we give loyal to others, kudos to everybody. So whatever they want to do, they do it. Nobody question them. These people, when they came in, they realized this is the system we are doing. So how did they penetrate with us? They went to the kings and they give them something, and then the king started to sell people. So the chief also contributes selling. So with that, we all stuck in place. And then today, actually, you know, I don't know. I think most of us here are Yoruba. If we really have to be honest with ourselves, we should scrap every fucking shitty stuff about this so-called religion. I'm a Christian, religion, Muslim, Christian, all these kings, kick them away, because they are the one that destroyed the whole African continent with their stupidity. They have, you know, people screaming of corruption in Nigeria. And I said to people, corruption was not the first problem what we have. The first problem was greediness. And I don't care. You don't care about your fellow neighbor. Greediness. How to acquire everything that belongs to the society. They took it. And then I'm coming. I'm sorry, Makinde. I'm sorry. But if we speak truth, then we can realize how to move forward. If we speak truth to the power, we can realize how to move forward. So the white man, and you know, the Yoruba say, if somebody is putting his hand on top of your head, it belongs to you now to try to move your head. To say, no, I'm not going to stay on that place. Are we really trying to move our head? I don't think so. And let's take, for example, before a white man will kill any African leader, the African leaders, the rest of the African leader will support him or his own people. Look, let's take, for example, Burkina Faso. I'm sorry, Makinde, you just said to us now that, they don't want us to progress. No. We can progress on our own. If we don't betray ourselves, we can progress. Burkina Faso, the name was changed actually. The meaning of Burkina Faso is upright people. People who are upright, sincerity people who can say the truth. And then Thomas Sankara actually started, when he stopped collecting aid from the French, no aid anymore, no money, exchange their money, nothing. Mm-hmm. Everybody from Burkina Faso, they started to work for the country. Mm-hmm. They built their train, they built everything. They sold, he himself wear Burkina Faso clothes. Mm-hmm. How did it happen? His own best friend, childhood best friend, was the one that they used.
Kamaru or something like that nation.
Yeah, the former president. It was the one they used to assassinate him. So Africa should come up to bear their own responsibility for what is happening to Africa. We don't have to blame people every time. Yes, there is agenda for you not to progress. Even though as a child growing up for example, how do you imagine like a mother who has 10 children? Do you think he will love all those 10 children the same way? He love every one of them the same? No. There is some of them who she will have to her own heart, that they will be doing what she likes. Mm-hmm. So with all these things, we should start to speak the truth to our system, that we don't have a system that helps us. We are just too greedy, and a greediness leads to corruption and leads to sadness and problems every day. So the point is this, that the white men actually was our problem. Yes, they contribute 30% of our problem, but the 70%, if we can repair the 70%, we will move better. We will go forward better. And for Akeredolu, I'm from Ondo State also.
Okay.
Yes, I'm from Ondo State.
I'm from Ekiti.
Okay, we are all the same. Okay, I will even say this now. Okay, you can say I will come back. You can say something, I will come back.
Okay. Maybe because me, I'm here, I can understand the system more than you. Our system here is like this. Let's check our the way we even have our chieftaincy this time around. Let's check our palace. Who are the people ruling you? Who are the people you select as a leader, even in the palace? Who are the mentors? When we were young, when we were small, when we were still like in primary school, the criminal, quote unquote, during our own time, they were now the king in the palace today. Mm-hmm. They were the chief in the palace today. Mm-hmm. So in any society.
Sorry, is that a metaphor? Can you give an example? Are you talking specifics or just a metaphor?
I'm talking about what we have presently in our society. Mm-hmm. What we have presently in our society.
Okay, let me answer your question today, now. Let me answer your question now.
Okay. No, please let me land.
Okay.
The problem I think we have is this: who are the mentor that young ones want to be following? Who are, when you want to talk about the changing of our
mindset? Give specifics? Give specifics rather than abstracts. So name a name so that we can make that association.
If you want me to make a name, okay. Let's start from like when I was young, I have a guy in my state. We used to call him what is a controller of the whole 419 during our whole time when we were in primary school.
Okay, all right. Okay, I thought you were going to name a famous politician.
No, okay. I don't want to. Yeah. No, you know what? Don't let except you want to like. You want to act as if we don't know what is happening.
No, we do know.
The good one in
our
society today. Yeah, yes. The good one in our society today are no more. They are nowhere to be. They are not even seeing the goodness of being the result of being good. We are paying evils. We are paying them back evils.
Okay, Makinde. Hold on, Makinde. Let who you help respond so we can hear from Cyril, because I've still got 3 other people wanting to come in. Yeah. So let us. Yeah, who you help?
The point is this. I just said it that even though before the colonial master came, we have been fighting ourselves. Yeah. And then when the kings actually they are the power, we didn't have government, we didn't have governor or anything. The kings were the one that is ruling. So how did the kings sit down? And then the 10 white men came, and then they were taking all their children away, enslaved them. How do we not blame the kings or to tell them to change now? Even though now, how can we not tell the king to change? Because they are too greedy for their own selfish interest. I'm coming.
It's the same thing we are still doing now. We are still doing the same thing now.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I told you we should stop that narrative of blame white man. White man has 30% of our problem, but we have 70%. If we fix that 70%, everything in Europe is not rosary. Everything in Europe is not rosary.
Let me just ask who you help one question and then answer quickly so you can go to Cyril and then Babs. Just two things actually. Have you confessed that you are an Ondo man? Have you?
Yes, I'm an Ondo.
So everybody can see what I'm saying now. They are so stubborn that I have too many opinions. You see, you can, even if he doesn't confess, the way he already has too many opinions on everything, you know, it's an Ondo man. But I forgot what I wanted to ask you now. It is around that narrative of Oyibo people and blaming them. But let's hear from Cyril. Cyril, what says you? Hello, Cyril.
You have to give him a voice. Tell him to
unmute yourself. I think it may well have been frozen because our Cyril system freezes sometimes.
Okay.
I think it's frozen because you see there's no movement there. So I'll bring you back, Cyril. Just relog. Babs, we see you. Introduce yourself and tell us where you stand in the conversation. Unmute yourself, Babs.
Okay. Hello, guys.
Yeah.
Well, I was just feeling will you help? I liked his assessment of what happened in Burkina Faso. And sorry, my name is Babatunde, and I'm an Ekiti man. I grew up in Ile-Ife, though.
Wow. Oh, God.
Wow.
We're still dodging the Ondo people now.
All these are, well, I schooled in Futa as well, so I lived in Akure for about 5 years.
My wife went to Futa.
Easy. And one man went to Mo. I really love the way you roll things around, you know, the way you.
Thank you. Are you subscribed then? Because you have to be subscribed. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Yes, I have to be making that call more for people to subscribe. Keep forgetting. You know, I want us to hit like about 100,000 people at least before the end of this year, which is easily doable. But then, you know, just to interrupt you, you know, one thing I've noticed, because sometimes I check the analytics, do you know that a good 87% of the people that have watched these things regularly, they don't even bother to subscribe, but I will address that later. Off you go. What are you saying to what has been discussed about?
Yeah. So, well, I you know, I love that assessment of, you know, we being our own enemies. It's always good to take responsibility. I mean, I tell you what is presently happening in Nigeria now is because our present crop of leaders, the people in power, are not willing to take responsibility. So they are not always going to look for solution. So if we, as we are all now, we knew that our forefathers, they were actually trains or buses to bring us to where we are now. They actually made it happen. We need to take responsibility. For instance, I'm just going to say one or two things. Britain, in their past history, I can't remember how many centuries ago, the king was tyrannical in nature. Does that make sense? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that was what created the House of Lords and all the Commons at the end of the day.
Okay.
To check the power. Does that make sense? You know?
Yeah.
So because who you help said so, or no, somebody earlier, maybe Makinde said, I don't know, somebody said something about our religious, whatever, our, you know, our hobbies and all that. I personally am not against them, but there must be checks and balances. You cannot have a Oyoala thing that is tyrannical. Does that make sense? That used to be tyrannical at some point, you know, does whatever they like. But at some point too, we had it in history that he was deposed at some point and brought another Alafi. But whatever be the case, any system that we operate in Nigeria must have checks and balances for the common man to benefit from it.
That's benefit from me.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Babs, just a couple of things. The leadership in Nigeria, and really by extension the African thing, do you think it is a lack of capacity that is essentially the problem? You know, do they just lack capacity? Because if we look at Buhari as an example, and you can replace Buhari with Museveni or the Djibouti or any one of them, if you look at them, they can't see beyond the pecuniariness of a narrow interest. So Buhari cannot see beyond tribe and religion. And a good example is this railway that is building from Kano into Niger Republic for its people. So $1.5 billion goes into that. But then, of course, if you build a railway to Semi-Border, there's economic activity there. If you build a railway to Cameroon, there's economic activity there. And if you build a road from Lagos into the east, that is one of the most economically viable
environments
in Africa. But then, of course, you are building a railway into Niger Republic. You are appointed, and if you look at the appointments as well in the federal levels, it's insisting on appointing only his own people. One, is people don't have the education, and two, the ones that are clever amongst them are limited. So already he has now. So is it really a lack of capacity, a lack of competence at the leadership level that is really the biggest problem? Babs.
Okay, well, I will take it in bits. Well, the one about capacity is not lack of capacity that is our problem in Nigeria, nor in Africa.
No, at the leadership level, not
lack of
at
capacity.
the leadership level.
No, well, no. Okay, yeah, at the leadership level, yeah, maybe because
but that is where I'm going. I know we are clever. Oh, it's gone. Oh God. Okay. Lagos boy, we see you. Babs, come back if you can. Lagos boy, we see you. What says you? Introduce yourself and tell us where you are in the conversation. Lagos boy. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. We can't hear you. Unmute yourself. I didn't mute. So unmute yourself. If you click on the there you are.
Hello.
Yeah, hi. Hello, we can hear you now. Introduce yourself and tell us where you stand in the conversation.
My name is Lagos boy.
Okay.
Okay. Where I stand in this conversation, like what the other brother said, our kings is our problem. The king of Yoruba people is our problem, and always we say don't say anything to the king. Don't say
but
anything.
You are not
to
Yoruba.
others.
You are not Yoruba.
This is the problem of Yoruba people. Hello?
But you are not Yoruba, are you? I can hear East in your voice.
I'm Yoruba.
Okay. Carry on.
One man. You behave like the kings, especially the people from Oyo.
God Almighty.
Yes,
don't go there now.
No. We have to say truth to ourselves. You behave like Ooni of Ife. Exactly.
You see now that really offends me because I'm an Oyo man. Because I question your Yoruba.
Yes. Let me tell you
man.
something. Lagos. Sorry, sir. Let me tell you something.
No.
The Yoruba
tell
people,
me something.
If you are not from Ibadan, let me tell you something. Listen. If you are not from Ibadan, you are not from Oyo, you are not from Osun. The other Yoruba people, they don't want to listen to your idea. You understand?
But you are not Yoruba, though, are you? Yes. I'm only joking. Carry on. Just go to the. Let's stick. Come to the topic. We will do that. We usually do that in the evenings. Attack one man. So we don't do attack one man in the afternoon. So come back in the evening. That is when we do attack one man. Go to the topic. Akeredolu wanting Yoruba Anthem in.
Yes. I watched your program very well. I listened to the program. Exactly the way Ooni of Ife you behave.
Okay, let's leave that to one side. No, forget that. You are a Yoruba man. I was only teasing you. Okay. You guys are so sensitive. I don't know. A little bit of joke and suddenly people are doing. And the one thing you don't joke about is somebody's identity or this.
Exactly. Last time. Soji cried on your show. He cried.
Oh, yes.
I came from. I'm same area from Soji. I'm in Lajeman from Ondo State. Always. Say we are not Yoruba. We have to say this.
Oh yeah. No, answer that. You see.
I am a fuge.
You see, we
You have passed. Oh yeah. But really,
you can see that my brother, the way he says something.
I speak to Akeredolu because
the Ibadan people. If let me tell you something. What Sunday Igboho is doing, you know why Sunday Igboho can do what he's doing? If Ondo man do what Sunday Igboho is doing, they will calm him down. Let me tell you something.
Who will?
The Yoruba people, you see the way they behave to Showore? If what Sunday
But Showore is not a Yoruba man. Showore is South-South. He's a South-South man. He's South-South.
This is what we are saying. You are saying Showore is not you. Go and read your history.
Okay, let's leave that. Let's leave that. Let's leave that. Lagos boy.
We have to say this thing. When we get the Yoruba nation, we have to the name.
But who is we? Who is we? Who is we though? You are a Biafran.
I'm not Biafran. I'm Yoruba man.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
I'm Yoruba.
We have to ask.
Look at my name. I'm from Ilaje. I'm Ilaje man. You know,
can you not tell when somebody is teasing you? Can you not tell that I'm teasing you?
No,
okay,
no.
Speak to the Akeredolu something because the afternoon one is usually just a short one. So just speak to the Akeredolu, insisting that Yoruba anthem in Ondo schools.
Akeredolu is working for Buhari. It's working for Buhari agenda.
God, are you serious?
Yes, Akeredolu is a PC man. First of all, let's tell ourselves.
Yes, okay.
Every APC governor, they are working for Buhari, please.
Oh, right. Well,
please. We have to tell ourselves the truth. We Yoruba people, we're always running away from the truth. Please. Hello.
No, I'm with you, but I have difficulties with people saying we have to hold on. I have difficulties with people saying we have to tell ourselves the truth.
You know, you can see the way. You can see the way. Who you help. You see the way he talks. You will know he's talk from this bottle of his heart. It's from Ondo. He's a larger man. We always say the truth.
There you go.
Or your people. Your people. I love you for your on your officer. You people are our problem. You people from the Oduduwa. We are the Yoruba people. We have to say the truth. You Oduduwa people is our problem. We are not from Oduduwa. We are the Yoruba people. We have to discuss this state.
So you are not Yoruba, but you are Oduduwa.
Yes, we are Yoruba. We are Yoruba.
You have to come back in the No, I'm not convincing you. I'm not convincing you. You're entitled to your opinion, but you have to come back in the evenings because this one is this is something that you
please, who you help? I want you to help me out of this case.
Okay.
We Elijah people. Our king Olugo said, "We are the Yoruba. We are not Oduduwa's son." Okay. We are in Ilefe. We are in Ilefe before Oduduwa come. We have to say this thing. We have to.
I think. Excuse me.
No, I think it's frozen, but I think he's made his point. So you speak to that, and then speak to that by way of a closing remark, because I don't want us to. It's a
what
short
do you think I should speak to? What should I speak to?
No, well, he's invited you to say that you are Yoruba but not Oduduwa, which is a new distinction now that is being introduced, because I wasn't even aware that was a possibility. So are you of that thought, and do you want to expand on it?
I can expand on that. Why not?
One man.
Hold on. No, just hold on, because you came off. So let's who you help speak.
I want to help me out.
Okay, the point is this. The point is this. There is I said the other time that who wrote our history? How did we come about our history and everything? When we talk about Odudu, I think you may remember when I said we should not be saying Oduduwa or anything or Yoruba. I said we should say we are Omoluabi. You understand? I proposed this, but many people attacked me and then they said, whatever they want to call it. And then history, I don't know if every one of us remember, when I was growing up, what did they teach? They said Oduduwa from Mecca. His father's name is Olamurudu. I don't know if you guys remember that. That's what I studied. That's what I read in the history. And suddenly, suddenly those history already disappeared. Those history disappear. Oduduwa is not from Mecca. His father does. Nobody knows his father. His father is not Olamurudu or Durudu, whatever they call it. So now, where are we going? In the first instance is this: the Nigeria actually can claim they are not from the Oduduwa descendants, because there was already people living in Ile-Ife before Oduduwa came in. That was a true fact story, because Oduduwa came to Ife with his own crew, but there are people who are already living in Ife, having their own community, the way they behave, the way they do their thing. And then you have to realize, Ife language, actually, it doesn't sound like any other language in Yoruba land. Ife language is different. So we should not go deep into that. What is confronting Nigeria?
But just on what you said, who you help, is that not the story of everybody though? Because there's no virgin land anywhere. So anybody that is saying this, that, and the other, based on whatever narrative. So there were people on whichever land before whatever came in. So there were people on all of the Yoruba lands before the Oduduwa phenomenon came in. And a lot of that Oduduwa phenomenon is, a lot of it is mythical, as you have said, because of course they are tracing it to Mecca and all that. So it's a lot of myth, but within that myth is still one, almost like a homogeneous people, because we're bound by language and a culture, if we're Oduduwa or not. So that Oduduwa, whether it's from Mecca or from Medina or from Mogadishu or wherever, it's still just a narrative that just binds us. So really, it's just a catch-all story. It's not, a lot of our history is fable, as we know, because how much history can really stand the test of probity? If you put a microscope, if you put any history under a microscope, within 5 minutes, you're already laughing. Huh? Don't run away from us. So you want to come and go and join the Igbo? What is wrong with you, my man? Eh?
No. I told you. You know, I don't know. You remember
if you go join the Igbo, don't take pounded yam, because pounded yam is from your region. So we're not letting that one go. So if you don't want to join us, just leave pounded yam with us.
I belong to the Yoruba for sure. I am a Yoruba man.
This Lagos boy that has come and caused wahala here, trying to. Okay, we start to round off because, like I said, the afternoon sessions are usually short. Ego, anytime we join you, you're always eating, drinking. Don't be doing any other activity apart from eating, drinking. We don't.
I'm already in the world, man. Sorry, man.
This is the thing. Eh? This is the thing. You know, these Zoom conferences, they be catching people in doing all sorts of food. So I just say you are paying attention to. Oh, okay. Just a quick word. We're looking to round up.
You can take it easy now, please. Why did you just bust me to the word now?
Sorry. I just clicked on you. And
good afternoon, man.
Yeah.
Afternoon.
No. It's okay. No problem.
Carry on, yeah.
Well, what's the topic all about, one man?
It's just really, I'm just going to take your sounding, and then, because I was just rounding off. It's just really Akeredolu, the governor of Ondo State, asking,
okay.
he has given the instruction. He has given the instruction.
I can hear you. Go ahead. I can hear you.
Yes, he has given the instruction that all of the schools in Ondo State, that they have to start reciting the Oduduwa anthem now every morning at their assembly. So we're not sure if that is replacing the Nigerian anthem, and we are speculating that is Akeredolu now declaring for Oduduwa nation. So that's the conversation we were having.
I read it. Yeah, I read it before and also gone through it. So what I believe Akeredolu is doing, Akeredolu is just standing as a leader, please. We should allow Akeredolu make any decision he wants. He's just standing as a leader, absolutely. If not for Akeredolu, even this 17 southern gathering just now wouldn't have come to play. So for him to say that they should be going ahead, making that Oduduwa national anthem, I don't think there is anything wrong in it. So people are trying to be wise this time around. What we saw now, what the entire country witnessed, some people are still wise. They are taking the matter more than where people think. So if you say they should be running the national item, I completely support it. Let them begin to do it so that we can be close to what we are close to. So he's just acting as a leader. I strongly support him. One man.
And Igo, just before I let you go, Isaac was introducing to us that the Northerners have come back as a group, their governors, to respond to what the Southern governors are saying. And essentially, they're just telling them to get lost. So what are you making of the Northern response to the Southern request?
I also read one of the response. See, whatever the Northerners are saying doesn't really matter at this stage, because the Southerners has come together as one. They can say what they like. I know the South also will also respond. Maybe themselves, they are not looking for a way out of peace. Then they can begin to drag this kind of victory. If not, I expect the Northern governors to commend the Southern governors and work with them. This is what is expected of them. And if they are taking a different ground, then the Southerners also must stand on their ground.
But are you not afraid? Sorry, because of time. Are you not afraid that it's now just turning into he said, she said? Is this just he said, she said now? It's just like okay, I'll give you the chance to make your adjustment. So I'll take your closing remarks. Who you help I'll wait to go back to Eagle. So who you help? Just a quick closing remark, just so we can start. Yeah.
About Akeredolu? About my governor?
Or in general, just just
okay.
your
in general with my governor. Actually, I'm not I've not been to Ondo State for the last 20-something years.
There you go.
So, but I keep everything in touch.
Do you have land? Do you have land there?
Why do I need land?
So you don't have one day I will go home sort of dream.
No. I'm not of that. I'm not of that. The point is this: is that I support, even though I'm not a fan of any governor in Nigeria or anything, but I support what Akeredolu say. They should start to recite a Yoruba national item. It's a good motive, because how come we never really study our own language? We don't have history in our schools. How come? So that is one. And then secondly, when people are saying war is not the solution and this and that, my brother, if war will come, war will come. Africa has never been separated without no war, because Africans, they don't have the good mindset to sit down and say the truth and let everybody have their peace.
Do you think we are uncivilized?
I will say that, yes. I will say so. The reason is this: how do you tell me you are civilized when you are killing your own people every day? How come? How can you? Africa argues stupidly, like, oh, we are civilized. Civilization comes from Africa. You can tell me all those history.
Just to interrupt you, who you help? You know, when one person dies in France, in Britain, in Germany, in America, they will lower the flag and the whole country will start to have a national. Just one person, that has been not to die, but like some terrorist attack. So if that's saying that, they will even change the colors of their Facebook, everything, to the color of their country. Just one person that's died, though. But in Nigeria, 170 people will die, and it will make national news. And when they look for the president for his remarks, they will be at some wedding, drinking burukutu and doing high five with these people.
I spoke to one of my cousins like 2 days ago, and then the point is this: is about this phenomenon of if you are going to funeral, you have to cook for 2 million people. And then if you are going to wedding, you cook for 5 million people. And then those theories are not working for us. Even though it's our tradition, we should try to minimize it, do it in a proper way. Yeah, we can have our tradition that is good. The one that is not good, we kick them out. The one that is good, we use them in a good way. So I'm I am of opinion that said our tradition should come first. For example, let me even say this. For example, I'm a Christian. I read the Bible quite well, and I understand a lot of stuff. But I also understand how the so-called men of God use it for their own fraud. One of the richest man in Nigeria, like 2 days ago or 3 days ago, Akeredolu.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah. Can you imagine what that guy said?
No, tell everybody, just for the people who are not aware. Yeah.
Yes, chief, or is he a chief or billionaire, whatever he called himself? Mr. Akeredolu said that the Southwest actually what have we achieved? The only thing we have achieved since independence is toggery boys and false prophets, false pastors, fake ones. He said it. This is a billionaire in Nigeria, and he's from the Southwest. He confronts the situation. And then when we don't confront the situation, we pass blame every here and there. How are we going forward? So my remark, my take is this: if eventually we have Oduduwa Republic, two things if I will be the one to put a legislation down. Two things: no swell of Quran, no swell of the Bible. Don't. I'm sorry.
You are going with Isaac. You are going with Isaac. Ogun and Shokmana.
No, Ogun is no. Ogun is. Let's go and bring Ayelala. Because I'm serious. You know why? Shokmana. If you read the history of Shokmana, they have actually corrupt Shokmana. They corrupt Shokmana. These things. When we started to study, when I started to dig about my heritage or my ancestors and everything, I realized what went wrong. Just because of the greediness, they don't make the good things work. If you take Ogun, put it there. If you want to swear, you swear that if you stole money and then you punish people because they are going to leak your secret, you punish them for them to keep quiet. Shokmono, Ayelala, Ogun, all your family, your children, they will die before you.
Oh God.
I'm serious.
You're an extremist.
Yes. Do you know why? Because we have law on a paper. We don't have it on practical.
All right. Thank you, who you help for reasons of pressure of time. But you don't come to the evening sessions if you can't try. I know you are pushed for time for life itself, but always a delight to hear from you. Isaac, I'm sure you agree with a lot of what who you help said.
That is right. So you do want to final?
Your remarks, yes.
Okay. Well, I agree with almost all what who you have said. And as I said earlier, I am not a fan of Akeredolu or any politician in Nigeria as much as they are not doing the right thing. However, we have to also give him kudos for being a person that is there to really make sure that we take our country back anyway. Because that is the first step. Because reciting Yoruba national anthem in all schools is a way forward for us to as for me. And I wish other states in Yoruba land emulate that. And because it is not Yoruba nation is non-negotiable. Let me just put it like the way the Nigeria disintegration is non-negotiable. Likewise, Yoruba nation is non-negotiable. So we have to go home. And the earlier everybody understand this, because we can see clearly now that Fulani, I will put them because I'm not going to join them with Hausa again. We can see that Fulani, they have their own agenda, because they've already replied to the state government that all the 17 state governors that they are talking trash. They're supposed to have consulted them before they can make that decision. Maybe that is how they always. Maybe that's how they always inform Southern governor before they have their own meeting. This is what is bothering us, and we cannot back down on it. We have to continue to move forward.
Yes.
And the earlier everybody joined this issue of agitation, either you go for Yoruba nation, or you go for Middle Belt, or you go for Biafra or Igbo, whatever they call it, the better. Because there is nothing. I don't see anything good coming out of this relationship. And Fulani, they are not going to back down. And like what I think was it Babs mentioned about the issue of Amori, that they have a weapon and all those stuff. Nobody.
I think that was Makinde.
Okay, nobody's fighting war, but they are the person now that want to cause war. And if we look at it, they cannot even handle Boko Haram. They cannot even handle IPOB. They cannot even handle ESN.
Just to interrupt you, Isaac, I agree with you. A lot of these things, that this fear of these Fulanis, a lot of it is fable. You know, they want to use the Biafran war. The Biafran war was between Nigeria as a state and the Igbo people, which was a completely overweight and outnumbered. And Yoruba soldiers, Ibendel soldiers, all of the Nigerian soldiers, some of the lead commanders, was one of the. So they can't claim credit for and what credit is even there in the genocide, I don't know. But maybe now we have to test now this potency, that this threat that they have been making, we have to now just test it once and for all. If you can, you can overwhelm us, then enslave us, but don't tell us to live on our knees. So if you can take us.
Very well.
And just round off, and then I'll come to
even the same army that we have at that time. We don't have committed army this time because they are not well fed, they are not well paid. So and the mentioning issue of army. Don't we have our own? Don't we have our own citizens in the same army? Don't we? We have them too. We might not be in charge. We might not be in charge of Amori, but we also have our own army. Also, among Nigeria army that has intelligence, that can even deliver the same thing southeast, the same thing middle belt. So it's not that it's only Fulani alone can.
You know, Isaac, to interrupt you again. You know the biggest thing. Obasanjo made a lot of mistake. But you know the biggest mistake that I will never forgive him for was not to change the composition of the security apparatus of the country and to leave it in their hands, even when he was the president. Because if you look at the weight of the Nigerian security apparatus, it is overwhelmingly Fulanis, and that is their potency. This is the threat that they are making in other people's directions, that look, we control all the guns. And if you don't sit down, remember what we were listening to yesterday with that chicken man telling the Yoruba governors and these to be careful, to be careful, you know. So that be careful is in that.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, sorry. Hold on. Let Isaac round off because I want to shut down. So Isaac, round off quickly, then I'll come to Ego, and then I'll
Okay, like what you just said now, right? The Obasanjo should have done that before he left. Nobody is going to forgive him about all that. And as you can remember, I mentioned in this program that they know their plan, and that is why they put all the immigration, custom, security,
DSS, CFCC, Army Chief, everything Fulani.
So it is just we never knew before, right? But we have been saying it, and this is the reason why they are attacking South governors now, that they cannot do anything because they know that they fill all those positions.
All right, thank you, Isaac. We meet again, hopefully, if you have a chance later in the evening. Ego, you have the final.
We will see in the evening.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Ego, you have the final word. Yeah.
The issue of Akeredolu, if you look at the decision Akeredolu is been making, even from the time of the Amotekun, you will know that the guy is trying to stand for the Yoruba. Are you getting me? And yes, you see the killing that I told you that will later transcend to development in this country. The North, they have been making some kind of mistakes in which they think nobody can oppose them. Okay, look at what they are telling these 19 state governors, that they should shut up, or they should go and sit somewhere, or they should go. It is an insult to the entire southern region. If this Fulani go, we come out and say to the representative of the southern region that they should get out, they should do this. It is a big insult, and the Fulanis must understand that the South are not ready to be enslaved, in which they know 100%. They are never ready for that. So the moves they are making now is a mistake, and they don't have the majority. This thing will only boil up and flare up. And they themselves also, like what you were saying, the whole country just mount pressure on the Igbos alone. That was what happened. Not that there was a civil war. What happened was
it was a genocide.
It was in Nigeria.
It was a genocide, not a war.
Okay, it was in Nigeria against Igbo people. So was that war? Is that what the Fulani are relying on to suppress the Nigerian state? No. If they think like that, they are miscalculating. Are you getting what I'm saying? So where we are today as a country, the position our governor has taken, if the Fulani like, let them say whatever they want to say. I trust the governor. Before they've made up this decision, they've seen more than what we have seen. That Mr. Governor Otom is not just making claims. T.Y. Danjuma is not just making claims. All these prominent men that are speaking, they are not just making claims. So they that are the sitting leader of the moment, if they fail to lead, history will not forgive them. And this is why you see them. Yeah, so this is why you see them in this fashion this time around. I will join you in the evening. Let's gather our energy and momentum.
Yes, thank you, Igor. Always in the evening, please don't come funky because they are getting funkier and funkier every day. God bless. So that is Igor, a gentleman. But then, of course, I was going to bring you a second narrative, but completely out of time now because the afternoon sessions, I always want to make it short for reasons of time and other commitments that I have as well. So I still have other schedules to me, outside of this. But before I let you guys go, just a bit of like an advertorial. Maybe in the evening, I'll bring you some of the data for this channel. A good 85% of the people who watch these things regularly, they don't subscribe, which you should do, whether you are some Biafraist who see me as an Igbo hater, or you are some Oduduwa, you still think that the commitment is not, whatever it is, you have to subscribe, especially if you come here regularly, because if you come here regularly, then whether you agree or not, what is going on here engages you and you see value in it. So if you are here regularly but you're not subscribed, it's effectively like going into a supermarket and just taking some item and not paying for it. So that's the subscription. And if you also find some value in it, whether you agree or disagree with it or not, then you can share the links, especially before the sessions come on. If you share the links on your social media platforms, so put it on your Facebook, put it on your Twitter, Instagram, etc., before the session starts, so that people, because of course, the people that are around us are people of our like minds. So people of your like minds can come and join us as well, so that they can be for or against, however the conversation is flowing, and then we get even more depth. So you've already seen the sort of quality and value of the people that are coming, but there are even more quality and value that we need to bring on board, and that is entirely down to you guys. So it's really for you to support the channel first by subscribing, which you should have already, but more importantly by posting the links before the session starts in your social media feeds, so that we have even more people here. So my thing is to maybe have like 10,000 people for every session, really then that is a representation. Because as I said previously, and I'm repeating now, what we have at the moment is a gathering, because it's just a few hundred of us, give or take. So what we have at the moment is a gathering, but what we're really looking for is a movement, because of course, the more of us there are, then the bigger our voice is. So let's make that voice loud by the ways that I've just described, by sharing the link and subscribing. So I'll leave you. I was going to bring you a second story, as I said, but the time has run out. So I'll leave it here. carry this conversation on with you in the comment section. But here, I say, peace.